Ever wonder how your favorite game idea goes from a rough note in somebody's notebook to being able to download, play, and totally get obsessed with? Hello everyone, I am Piers Duplock, producer and consultant on over 30 video game titles, and today we're going to be talking through the full life cycle of a video game from concept to console. Whether it's an indie game, a AAA blockbuster, here's how the magic really happens. It starts with the idea. Every video game starts with the idea for either a mechanic, a setting, or a feeling. This is where the creative spark happens. But it's also where reality can step in. Can it be built? Does it fit the budget? Will players want it? At this stage, it's all about documentation, documenting the idea, drafting concepts, doing pitches, and creating mood boards. Just trying to figure out if this idea is something we want to move forward with. The next section is pre-production and prototyping. Once the core idea sticks, the team will enter pre-production. They'll build quick and dirty prototypes, just enough to test if a mechanic is fun to play. It's not about visuals, it's about feel. Meanwhile, other key decisions will be made at this time, such as what game engine are we going to be using? What's the target platform? Are we going to do a console release? How big is the team going to be? It's usually decided by budget. And what's our timeline? If the prototype at this phase works, it moves forward. It might entirely be scrapped. It might be heavily reworked. Many games never make it past this stage. Section 3 is where production really begins. This is building the game. Production is the longest phase, and for many games, it can often take years. Game designers will create and finalize the systems and the rules for the game. Artists will create characters, environments, visual effects, you name it, they create it from a visual standpoint. Programmers will literally code everything to make it come to life. Writers will flesh out the story and the dialogue. Sound designers will do the audio, the music, the voiceovers, and level designers will build the maps and encounters. Everyone will be working in parallel, but constantly communicating, making sure every asset that goes into the game works together. If you want to see or hear more about how video games are made from behind the scenes, please hit that subscribe button. New content comes out every week. Step 4 will be iteration, polishing, and testing. Game development isn't a make it once and move on situation. It is about constant iteration. A mechanic might feel a bit clunky, needs to be reworked, so you'll look at it again. A level might confuse players and the layout needs to change, so you need to look at it again. Animations might be out of sync with combat timing, so you need to look at it again. The UI might not be clear enough for players with certain disabilities, so you need to look at it again. This is where the fun is found in a game. Internal playtesting will probably happen daily at this point. Bugs are being tracked and fixed. Features are being cut or reshaped. The goal is to make it fun, to make it balanced, to make it stable. The next stage after this is the alpha and the beta. These are typically where consumers might hear something about the game, might even be involved in testing the game. So at some point the game will enter alpha, which is where all the major features are in and the game is playable from start to finish. It won't be polished at this stage. A lot of work will still need to be going on, but it's there. You can test it. The next stage after this is beta, where the game is feature complete. Everything's in. You're just tweaking, you're optimizing, you're testing. That's all that's going on at this point. During these phases, large studios will be entering their QA phase as well, where they test, they bug track, where they fix, where they optimize 24/7 across all their platforms that they plan to release on. This could be Switch, this could be Xbox, PlayStation, PC, everything. Some games around this time will also enter early access, maybe even have closed betas for a certain pool of players to get feedback. That way they can iterate based off their own customers' expectations. The next section after this is your launch and certification if you are doing console platforms. Each console platform, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, has its own certification list you have to go through, but the majority is don't have crashing bugs, have your accessibility features in order, have proper save load behavior in the game, have support for the controllers of those platforms, stuff like that. You'll need to make sure they're all in there, otherwise the certification can fail you and you will not be able to release on that platform. PC is a little bit more forgiving. There's no such requirements for Steam, for instance, which is why we see a lot more games come out on Steam. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, the marketing machine will be kicking into full gear. We're talking trailers, press releases, social media, maybe even a demo if that's something you want to do. Teams will prep for day one patches, maybe some post-launch support as well. And talking about post-launch support, launch day isn't the end anymore. It's just the start of a new phase these days. Here, developers will be constantly monitoring player feedback. They're looking for crashes. They're looking for things that need maintenance. They're looking to get bugs patched. And then you can start thinking about DLC. You can start thinking about future content coming down the lines. And this will vary game to game. You'll see some games go for a live service model like Fortnite with a battle pass with constant updates pretty much every month coming out. And you'll see other games that will do a patch here and there every so often. I think Baldur's Gate where they release one every 6 months or so. So next time you finish a game and you think, wow, that was amazing, just remember you experienced the result of years worth of planning, building, testing and fixing just then. So if you learned something new today or enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There is more coming every week. And let me know if there's any behind the scenes game development tips or tricks you'd like to learn in the comments. Thank you all for watching.